Hi everybody, Dr. Jess Trimble here, one of your friendly fuzzy veterinarians. This week we're going to be talking about what gross contagious things your dog can pick up from the dog park. But first, what is Fuzzy? Fuzzy is a San Francisco-based pet healthcare tech company, and what we do is subscription-based in-home care for your pet. So we'll come to your home, we'll give vaccines and heartworm testing, microchips, do wellness exams. We also have a wonderful app. Check us out in the App Store or on the Google Play Store. It's just called the Fuzzy Pet Health app, and you can do pet health quizzes. You can check out our healthcare blogs. We'll even get your pet's medical records for you, and there's an Ask a Vet section. So if you ever have questions about your pet's health, jump on Ask a Vet and ask, and we're happy to help you to make pet parenting more easy for you. And when you are asking, you might even get to talk to me. So, like I said, this week we're talking about contagious diseases, and we're here every week at the same time on Thursdays at 11 PST, and we have a different subject each week. If you have things you want us to talk about, let us know, and we're happy to cover it for you. So one of the things that I see a lot as a general practitioner here in the city is contagious things picked up from dog parks, from training classes, from puppy school, and a lot of people are pretty grossed out about some of the things that their pet can get. But we get it. Your dog is bouncing off the walls. They have more energy than what you know what to do with. The best thing to do is take your dog to the dog park and let them socialize and wrestle and run and chase with all those other dogs so that they're not driving you nuts at home. And training classes and socialization classes for puppies are incredibly important for their long-term mental health. But how do you avoid getting all of those nasties that come from socializing with other dogs? First things first, we want to make sure your pet is vaccinated. There are a lot of contagious diseases that can be fatal. Rabies, distemper, parvo, those are all things that your dog should have vaccinations for before ever going into a social setting with other dogs. There are also other vaccines that you might want to think about or talk to your vet about if it is right for your pet's lifestyle. So certain parts of the US, the Midwest especially, has a lot of dog flu. So your vet might recommend the flu vaccine. There's also Bordetella vaccinations, which covers for a different kind of kennel cough. And there's also leptospirosis vaccines, which we're actually having an outbreak of here in the city that is being seen at some of our dog parks. So talk to your vet about what regional diseases are specific and have your pet protected before you start going into those situations. Now, there are a lot of things that we can't vaccinate for, and that's what this is mostly about. Or what are the things you can't vaccinate for that your pet might pick up? So think of it like when your toddler goes to preschool for the very first time. They've had all of their vaccines, but things like preschools and daycares, those are germ incubators. Your kid is gonna catch a cold. It's gonna be the same for your dog. They're going to catch something, and it's nothing to panic about. Just know that every once in a while your pup might get the sniffles, and that's okay. As a young puppy, their immune system is just not built up. They don't have those antibodies against those common colds and bacteria and viruses out there. So getting your puppy into those social situations will help to build their immune system, and over time they won't get as sick as frequently. So what are some of the things that your pup is going to pick up at preschool or out at the daycares and the dog parks? One of the most common things we see are those upper respiratory diseases. Now, the really serious ones are going to be your dog flu and kennel cough. Those can really cause some pretty nasty lethargy, horrible cough, and some of those do require going to the vet for antibiotics or supportive therapy. Some dogs have even died from the flu, so it's really important to make sure that your dog is covered for those if it's a problem in your area. And if your dog is showing those symptoms, doesn't want to eat or drink or play, go to your vet and have them checked out to make sure that it's not something more serious than just a basic cold. Now, can dogs get colds? Absolutely yes, we do see it. Now, these aren't colds that are going to pass back and forth from human to dog. Don't worry, your pet is not going to give you a cold. You're not going to give your dog a cold. You might have a cold at the same time as your dog, but you're not passing it back and forth. So for dogs, colds are very similar to humans. A little sniffle, some congestion, a cough, just not feeling great for a few days. And if your dog has those sniffles or the sneezes, but is still eating and drinking and playing and seems otherwise pretty normal, it's usually okay to just kind of wait and watch and see how it progresses. Now, if your dog does develop more serious symptoms, obviously go to your vet and have them checked out. Just like the flu, most people get over it on their own, but the young and the elderly and those with immune system problems have more serious disease. It's the same with your pet. One of the next things that we see, gross enough, is parasites. Intestinal parasites, external parasites, there's a lot of different kinds of parasites. So the internal parasites typically live in your dog's intestines. They lay those eggs, they come out in your dog's poop. So if your dog likes to check out other dogs' poop or spends a lot of time on dog parks where they can be playing in the dirt, those eggs of those intestinal parasites can live in the dirt for an extended amount of time, sometimes even years. So do annual fecal testing with your veterinarian to make sure they don't have parasites. Try to keep your dog from eating other dogs' poop. I know it's really hard sometimes. And use parasite preventatives. So heartworm preventatives usually have intestinal parasite prevention as well. Fleas we see here in the city, in the Bay Area, our fleas are horrible here. So make sure that you're on a really good flea preventative, and we also would want that to cover ticks and mites as well. There are kinds of mites, like sarcoptic mange, that can be contagious and passed back and forth from other dogs. Ringworm is another nasty that your dog can catch from other pets. And contrary to the name, ringworm is not actually a worm. It's a fungus that causes like a little ring type of lesion. So if you see any sort of skin problems on your dog after going to the dog park, take them into your vet, see what's causing it, get them on the right preventatives to keep that from being a problem. And if you're a Fuzzy member, we'll provide you with those preventatives as part of your subscription plan. Another thing that really freaks a lot of owners out are oral warts. Totally disgusting, but these are, it's a virus that when your dog has mouth-to-mouth contact with other dogs, when they're out there wrestling and playing and licking each other, those can be spread, and they're gonna look like itty-bitty little tumors, basically, that are gonna pop up on the lips and the tongue and the gums, and we almost always see it in dogs less than 2 years of age, and those will usually pop up, hang around anywhere from 2 to 5 months, and then fall off or go away on their own as your dog's immune system develops and reacts to it. So if you see those little warts on your dog and he's a very young dog, it's a good chance it's just a little viral wart. We'd encourage you to go to your vet and have them double check it though. There's a lot of little tumors that can pop up that would look just like one of those oral warts. So keep an eye on it, but know that if your pup is going to the park for the first time, there's a good chance they might catch it. And we see it here in the city all the time, especially in those young dogs, and a lot of owners think it's completely disgusting. So really, prevention of contagious diseases comes down to common sense at the dog park. Your dog's gonna be wrestling with all kinds of strange dogs. You don't know if they're vaccinated, so make sure that your own pup is vaccinated and make sure that they're healthy. If your dog has cold symptoms or has those warts, isn't feeling well, don't take them to the dog park. You wouldn't send your sick kid to school because they'd be spreading it everywhere. Don't send your sick dog to the dog park to get the rest of the dogs at the park infected as well. If you have questions, talk to your vet. You can also use our Ask a Vet feature and we will help you through all of those questions too. And we also encourage you to bring your own water to the dog park. A lot of those diseases can be transferred through water bowls or through saliva, so if you bring your own water, you might be able to avoid some of those diseases, but not all of them. Try to keep your dog from eating other dogs' poop. I know it's tough and it's disgusting, but give it a try. And again, if your pup has any of these problems, don't spread it. We see it all the time where people are just sending their dogs out anyway, and that's how outbreaks happen. So keep your pup at home if they're sick. Get them well vaccinated, and if you have any questions, talk to your vet or use our Ask a Vet feature and ask us, and we're happy to help you through and answer those questions for you to let you know if you do need to go to the veterinarian. So again, check out our blog, check out our website. If you want to, please follow us on Instagram. It is your_fuzzy, and then our Twitter is @yourfuzzy. And if you do follow us, we have great giveaways all the time. Last week we gave away a PetCube camera, so we always have awesome things to give away. So keep following us. We're here at the same time every week, 11 a.m.-ish PST. Check us out. And again, if you have any topics you want us to talk about, let us know. We're happy to go over those. So we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.